lot of talk, by the way, about Ted Cruz going to Cancun for a couple of days while there is major issues going on in the state of Texas, while we've got what I called Snowmageddon going on. I'm not as upset about this as many people in the Blue Checkmark Brigade are, because I don't see it as particularly hypocritical. What I care about and what I have talked about is, if you are involved in arguing in favor of lockdowns or shutdowns or saying nobody should be traveling because of COVID, and then you're caught traveling, like we saw with a bunch of people who were involved in schools. If you're a teacher involved in the teachers union and you're saying it's not safe for kids to be in school, and then you take a trip to Puerto Rico like we saw the Chicago person did, or you take a trip to the Caribbean like we saw the Nashville school board member doing, if you're behaving in that manner, it's hypocritical for you to do so. If you are a senator who is not involved in regulating state or city direct behavior, I don't see this as particularly hypocritical. If you want to write about it, if you want to talk about it, I understand why you might do that. Larger context here. How is it that the Blue Checkmark Brigade members are covering Ted Cruz taking a trip with his family to Mexico more aggressively than they are covering Andrew Cuomo's cover-ups of thousands of deaths from COVID in New York? I mean, one of the big issues that I have with many people in the media today is there is such a race to decide whether someone is on the right side or not, that you don't apply an even standard no matter whether somebody's a Republican or whether somebody is a Democrat. And that, I think, is one of the great failures of the media today, and why so few people actually trust the media. One reason why our audience at Outkick is exploding in a good way is because whether or not you agree or disagree with me, the precedent behind my decisions applies evenly whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. I am far more troubled by hypocritical politicians arguing that we need to have shutdowns or that schools shouldn't be open, who then end up traveling themselves, than I am somebody who goes on vacation with his family at a time when they are able to go on vacation. I tried to go to Cancun this week. I got snowed in Tennessee. Now, I'm not a senator. You can argue that senators, if things are going bad in their home states, shouldn't actually leave the home state at any point. But, you can work anywhere. I mean, if anything, COVID has taught us that you can be just as effective working remotely as you can physically located in a particular place. So, again, the precedent here is nowhere near the same. And I would love to see how many of the blue check marks that are outraged by Ted Cruz hopping on a plane to go to Mexico with his family are similarly outraged by what's going on in New York with Andrew Cuomo, which is a much, much more serious storyline that I believe deserves to be covered much more aggressively than it has been by most people in the media. And again, media, to me, shouldn't be biased. They shouldn't be carrying water for one side or the other. If you aren't, if you're an objective journalist and you aren't regularly being criticized by Democrats as often as you're being criticized by Republicans, you're probably not doing your job. And one of the challenges that we have in this country now is that there is very little actual objective journalism. I mean, right down the middle, just committed to sharing the facts with you, regardless of who it ends up favoring or disfavoring. Just give me the facts. And we see so little of that right now that everything is coming day to day on a partisan slant. Now, there is a difference between news and opinion too, which many people seem unable to distinguish between. So I'm not criticizing people who are clearly in the opinion business. If you want to be in the opinion business and be a far left winger or be a far right winger, that's your right. You can do that. The problem is everybody shouldn't be in the opinion business. We need more people giving us facts and less people giving us opinion who are quote unquote in the journalism field. And I think oftentimes that's been destroyed, that distinction, by Twitter and by the blue checkmark brigade out there that is perpetually all in a mob chasing the exact same story at the exact same time.